Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Get ready for an epic collaboration as MB Radio and Patriot Radio join forces. These veteran-owned stations are uniting to bring you top-notch, veteran-run podcasts, along with your favorite classic rock music 24/7. Stay tuned for the ultimate radio experience that celebrates our heroes and plays the tunes that never get old. From engaging discussions to timeless hits, this partnership has everything you need for your listening pleasure. Don't miss out on this exciting new chapter in radio history as MB Radio and Patriot Radio come together to rock your world.
What is up, everybody? This is Caesar with the Battle Rhythm Podcast coming to you live from my studio at home, my home studio. This is the Battle Rhythm Podcast on Military Broadcast Radio and, as you just heard, on Patriot Radio as well. And also, we have a huge announcement that also August 1st, starting August 1st, MBR will have their own Roku TV channel. So look out for that August 1st. You can catch all of the shows that are actually right now on MBR. We're going to be coming live to you, and it's going to be awesome. So we're growing as a station, and it's all thanks to you guys, the listeners, and also thanks to our sponsors that willingly give veterans a voice. So that's always so appreciative. So our phone lines are open at 720-619-0627. We are here. Today is Tuesday, July 23rd. And man, I can't believe it's almost halfway done with the year. Almost, Christmas in July. Have anybody been watching that Hallmark stuff with Christmas in July? Good, because I haven't either. Tier, right? So so we're getting that. I will be coming live to you guys next week from Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. I will be at the VFW National Convention, and I will be there interviewing all the candidates. So I hope all the candidates for the National Junior Vice Commander in Chief that we have running right now. So their election year will be next year in 2026. So because it's a national convention, all of the candidates will be there. So I hope that I'm going to be able to snatch them up for a couple of hours and actually ask them the hard questions. The ones that nobody ever wants to talk about. It's like, did you really inhale? I did not inhale or anything like that. No, just kidding. Those type of questions. But I'm going to try to get them to a debate so we can actually get their platform, because it's not every day that you're able to actually get all these guys together. So that's what we're going to do. But first, we are going to do some fun facts and events. So I want to go back in history and actually tell you guys that today is July 23rd, right? 220, the year of our Lord, 2024. And it's the 205th day of the year, and we're on week 30 of 52. So, oh my God, that means we only got 22 more weeks for Christmas. I can already hear my wallet just going everywhere. So, all right, so that's what it is. Anyway, but today in 1956, Pete Everest became the fastest man in the world. He actually was on a plane. Actually, was able to do Mach something. I don't remember what it was, but he was actually the fastest man in the world for a few moments anyway. And in 1829, we had inventor William Austin Burt. He patented the typographer, also known as the typewriter in the United States. So there you go. Some of the famous birthdays that we have today in 1989, Mr. Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe, was born in. He's an English actor, obviously, so he's born in England. He is 35 years old today. In 1982, I don't know this guy, Paul Wesley, American actor, born in New Jersey. So he's 42 today. And then Woody Harrelson, good old Cheers. So he is 63 years old today. He was born in Texas. So yeah, another Texas guy. So here we go. All right. So those are the today's facts. Amy Winehouse actually was found passing this year, actually, not this year, but today, in 2011. So that's when she passed away in 2011 on July 23rd. And then Ulysses S. Grant also passed away on this date in 1885. So that marks the anniversary of their passing. So that's what happened today in history. So, all right, like I mentioned, today I have a very special guest. Is the current senior vice commander for the Department of Texas, Dave Walden. He was actually on the show. He's a friend of the show's. He was on the show when we were at the state convention, and we're going to talk to him a little bit here, a little bit after the first break. We're going to ask him, like I said, those hard questions that nobody ever wants to ask, and I'm going to get his intake or his input on what we need to look forward to in the next couple of years, or his senior year and also his command year. So I'm looking forward to actually asking them, see what the department actually is heading to, what we need to look for, what we need to see, and so we'll go from there. But yeah, that's it. You guys are doing it. Like I said, the phone lines are open. You can see the phone number there, 720-619-0627. You guys can call in, join in the conversation, and you can ask those questions, because again, just because the VFW is for veterans of foreign wars, it doesn't mean that we do not, or that the organization does not represent any other veterans. We are trying to and I'll let Dave explain this, but just so you guys know, we are trying to get together with other organizations so we can actually lead the way and actually make sure that we are able to get the care that we need for all of veterans, not just veterans, VFW members, all veterans, because all veterans are important. Some of the things that we need the most are health, mental health issues, right, that most of us have, and we need that mental health care. And also a lot of the times that we just need care in general, because a lot of our vets are homeless and they don't have a lot of places to go. So we need veteran homes. So everyone that we get, as far as get involved. It doesn't matter if it's a VFW, the American Legion, the DAV. Get involved in this, because they give us votes and they give us a voice and a number in front of Congress, so we can actually get that funding and we can actually get the care that we need for all veterans, not just the VFW, but all veterans. That's what's important here. So we'll go from there. But yeah, so I'm just I'm glad. As you guys can see, I changed the date. I had to change the date for the podcast. It was before, it was on Fridays at 1:00 Eastern, because I have to go back to work now on Fridays, which is no big deal. I had to change the date, so now I'm here on Tuesday. So this will be our regular time slot from Tuesdays at from 9 p.m. Eastern to 11 o'clock Eastern. So 8 to 10 Central, and then 6 to 9. 6 to 8 on the West Coast. So yeah, we're excited about that, and it's actually a pretty good date actually to actually have a podcast in the evening, because I think a lot more people are actually more apt to come into the show. That was one of the things that I actually had issues with, trying to get people into the to interviews in the middle of the day, because they work and they're not able to do it. So I think in the evening is a little bit better. So that's what we're gonna do. But what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna bring in my first guest. Dave Walden, like I said, he is not junior. He just got elected senior. My bad, Dave. I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. Please. So I'm gonna bring in Dave, and I'm gonna introduce him. He is the current senior vice commander for the Department of Texas, and like I said, he is a close friend of mine, and I've talked to him extensively throughout the days, throughout the weeks that leading up to the state convention, and I had him. I was like, I am going to have you in for 5 minutes, and he did. He stuck away from what he had to do that day during the business meetings, and he snuck away. So, Dave, how are you doing, sir?
Sir, how are you?
I'm here, man. I'm finally we were able after 4 or 5 months of me trying to get you to the show, you are finally here.
Absolutely. I think, like you just said earlier, the time slot definitely helps in the evenings versus in the middle of the day. So,
Yeah, I can see actually Bob is trying to get into the picture too. You got the minion Bob back there behind you.
No, that's Minion Dave. So,
Oh.
he's built like me. He's short and fat, and that's
I can never tell them apart. I can
Yeah,
never
that's
tell them
what,
apart.
So that's one of the things my kids picked up on when the movies first came out is, he's short and fat. So now the joke is, I'm built like a minion. So yeah, that's me. That's Dave the Minion.
Well, at least you're not bald and they don't call you Gru, so you're fine.
Right.
So, Dave, so first of all, I want to introduce you, like I said, but I also want you to tell me and tell the audience what branch you served in, because I can see you got all kinds of stuff back there. I'm pretty sure that you were, I'm gonna be biased, and you were Army, so I'm glad about that. So,
right.
Please tell the audience where you served and what qualified you for the VFW.
Sure. So so I did do 12 years in the United States Army. I am a multiple combat tour veteran of both Operation Iraqi and Operation Grapefruit. So I did multiple combat tours for that. But as far as where I've been stationed, a little bit of here, a little bit of there, a little bit everywhere. You know how the Army works. Got out of the Army and had surgery here in Texas on my back. Had 3 or 4 back surgeries and fell in love with the hill country. And so I stayed here in the Lago Vista, Leander area. After I got out, I became commander of my local post here in Leander. Became district commander, and obviously now great sheriff. So.
Right. And how long did it actually take you to get to the upper echelon of the state?
Well, I will say I was very, very lucky. I have had, a lot of good mentors in the VFW, and so I've been a member for a long time, but I really got active in 2016. I took my first post command in 2016. And so what is that, 8 years now?
Yeah. So congratulations. You're new. Here you go. You're the post commander.
After a couple months, it's like, hey, young kid, we want to change. We want to get more people like you in here. How do we do it? And so yeah, I said, okay, yeah, I'll do it. But I need you guys to stick around because I don't know what word post commander means. So yeah, so we kind of went from there. But I've had a lot of great mentors at every level.
That's good.
I've been really lucky. And that's how, I wouldn't be here without everybody that has supported me along the way. So.
Right. And it's hard. Sometimes it's very hard to actually find a good mentor, right? And because a lot of people don't, I found that a lot of people want to hoard that information, and they don't want to share it for whatever reason that is. Or they feel threatened, or they don't want to, they don't want to help you for whatever reason. So that's always not the good thing, but it's great to actually find those mentors that you said that will help you along the way and will guide you in the right way. And if you're in the organization for the incorrect reasons, then that's not good. I mean, like I said, and Lynn Toomer, the past state commander, has been on the show for a few times now, and he has said himself, he's like, there's 2 kinds of people here that come to the VFW. One that says, what can I do for the post, and what can the post do for me? Right. So, and I'm glad that we have some of the leadership that actually is able to do the latter. That what can I do for the post? Because
and that's it. It's the VFW, and I know we'll get more into this later, but the VFW has really changed my life. Between the VFW and CBD, and stuff like that, this organization saved my life. It really did. So, I have to get back, right? I mean, that's just part of it. And, I've got 3 sons that are currently serving right now. One of them is a VFW member. He's actually eligible. The other 2, they're not VFW eligible, but they are, but they're all active. And so, it's my way of giving back and ensuring that, the benefits that were fought for us to have, that we continue to fight for our sons and our grandsons and our daughters and granddaughters and
Right.
future generations to come.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I'm glad to hear that your entire family is involved. So, but we are going to take our first break today, right now, and then we're going to come back and actually start getting into the nitty-gritty of it, because you did mention something very interesting about CBD, and we were on a different show. We were having that conversation, and I want to get your input on that and how the VFW applies with the VA and all that stuff because of that. Because a lot of people are actually have under the misconception that CBD has THC in it, and there's a misconception about it. So I want to get your intake on that. But when we come back from the break, we're getting to the into that conversation, and it'll be one of those things that, hey, it's either going to be good or it's going to be bad. So we'll be back in a few minutes. You're listening to the Battle of Rhythm podcast on Military Broadcast Radio and also on Patriot Radio. We'll be back.
As he approaches his 96th birthday, Jim Hahn still remembers intimate details about his time serving as a Marine in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War, and he also remembers how it all started.
Mother wasn't going to sign. I told her, I said, if you don't sign this, I'll lie about my age. And she signed.
He was inspired to enlist when walking down the street at 16 years old. He tells K10 he saw some people messing with a Marine and his girlfriend.
They was doing anything they could try to make him mad. He told his girlfriend there to go down and wait for him at the red light at the end of the street there. He turned around and whipped all 4 of those guys.
A year later, he was off to San Diego for basic training. Hahn joined the occupation force in both China and Japan during World War II, which marks the only time in the history of Japan that it has been occupied by a foreign power. A bitter time these days, though. Gunnery Sergeant Hahn holds tight to the sweeter moments.
It's going into Japan, there, into town. I seen all these little kids running around there, and they looked like they was hungry and everything else. So I started in getting candy from our PX and taking it in there and giving it to the little kids. It got to where whenever I'd come inside the city limits, man, here come all these kids.
What he didn't realize at the time, candy would one day become his lifeline. In November of 1950, just a few months after the Korean War began, 8,000 fighters, mostly Marines, were trapped in the Chonjin Reservoir, surrounded by 120,000 Chinese soldiers. And you guessed it, Sergeant Hahn was one of those Marines.
If somebody told me this, I'd have thought of him as being a liar, because I did not think that it would get 90 degrees below zero. I seen guys just walking along, and all of a sudden I could stop walking, and they just did. They'd freeze to death while they was walking.
Freezing, barely hanging on to life. The Marines called for ammunition using their code word, Tootsie Roll.
I never will forget that. They got on the radio there and talking to them, said, send us some Tootsie Rolls. And they was talking about ammunition, a certain type of ammunition.
Well, the soldier on the other end of that radio took the message literally, and they dropped into the reservoir Tootsie Rolls.
Here's just 3 planes there coming out with these parachutes coming down there with Tootsie Rolls. It's supposed to be the ammunition, but it's Tootsie Rolls. But if it hadn't been for them, a lot of us, including me, would probably starve to death.
Those little chocolate candies were the fuel that sustained the troops. All other provisions were frozen, so they survived on the chocolate.
It seemed impossible that they was there for any other reason than to save my life. I thank God many times for the fact that I lived through all of it. Didn't lose any arms or legs or anything that way. I sat in this foxhole, and people all around me freezing. And some reason or other I didn't.
He says all he thought about was his next breath and how he would use it.
I don't know, I still think about it sometimes. I know that God saved me from it. Try to thank God 3 or 4 or 5 times a day about that.
Decades later, Sergeant Hahn literally holds on to that memory with a bucket of Tootsie Rolls made specifically for him with American flags after the company heard his story. Those Marines that made it out are now revered as the heroes of the Frozen Chosen. But this one calls Texoma home, and he chooses to spend his time right here in the Sherman VFW.
I feel like they're brothers. This, to me, is part of the military.
As this veteran reflects on a life of service most would never know, Han would do every second of it again. The few, the proud, the Marines.
It was such an honor to be able to sit down with Jim, and I just want to say right here on the record, thank you for your service. Not only a World War II veteran, a 3-war veteran. He decided to just keep going back. I know.
And you know, I had heard that, I knew that there was something involving Tootsie Rolls, but that was the first time I actually heard that full story, and that is so incredible.
And he's just walking around Texoma.
Oh, how cool.
Amazing, I know it.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome back to the Battle Rhythm Podcast. I am Caesar. We're listening to Military Broadcast Radio and also Patriot Radio. That's where we're coming in. And like I mentioned earlier in the first segment, is that we are now going to have a Roku TV channel starting August 1st. So that's a super huge win for MBR. So you guys make sure you guys tune in. If you have your Roku app, you guys can go ahead and download that channel once it's available on August 1st. So I will be one of the first to actually have a show on Roku because my show is on Tuesdays now. So so it'll be cool. But we are here with Dave Walden. And before the break, we actually went out and we started talking about CBD. And Dave shared with us that he actually feels that the both the BFW and also CBD have changed the way he is able to carry himself, not only physically but also emotionally, and within the VFW. So I want to ask you, Dave, what led you to actually get into and actually take the CBDs? I'm sure you were going through the pain management process with the VA, correct?
Sure. So first of all, can you hear me better now, or is this?
Oh yeah, more better.
Okay, good. I changed my mic there. All right. So when I was going through all the process with my back and everything, the VA had me on what I like to call the magic cocktail, right? It was a cocktail of Valium, Vicodin, Neurontin, Ambien for sleep, an antidepressant, an anti-anxiety. You know, you added up all the pills that were on it. It was somewhere in the vicinity of 7,000 to 8,000 pills a year.
Oh my gosh.
You know, and when I say there were 6 months of my life I don't remember, you know, it's literally no exaggeration. It's there was, and I've testified a lot in front of Congress. I've been to court, obviously, all the way up to the circuit court to fight for this for veterans, as well as the Texas legislature. And I tell the story of, you know, my wife at the time came home shopping with a friend. They had been gone about 2 hours, and they had found me about 2 blocks down the street, you know, on my cane at the low ready. And so, you know, it's when I couldn't even walk, you know. So anyway, so I started looking for alternatives to this. I was talking to my VA doctor. I won't mention names because, you know, a VA doctor could get in trouble for saying this, but just go try some weed, and I guarantee it's going to help you. And it did. And I was like, okay, now how do we find some kind of legal alternatives for this? And so, you know, I started looking at CBD stuff, and I had really started looking, and at first it was getting my hands on it any way I could, and then pretty much as it kind of became legal in 2018, the full CBD and Delta 8 became legal. Companies like Hometown Hero and DeVega CBD really stepped up and became a great player in the game. And I can tell you, Caesar, I have not had any kind of a narcotic, pain pill, anything for a nerve pain. Basically, all I take now is a breakthrough migraine pill when I need one. Haven't taken an antidepressant and an anti-anxiety med, any of that in over, 6 years now.
Oh my God.
So when I say this stuff changed my life, it really did. You know, I went from a fog that I didn't know who I was, how I could operate, to, you know, somebody functional enough to be a post district and even, you know, future state commander
right.
of the state of Texas. And I've also, in my professional life have gone from, a help desk admin all the way up now to director of IT. And so, without CBD, it really wouldn't be possible. And when I say this too, let me caveat this, if you don't mind, because, we're talking about the hard questions and the hard answers, right? Not all CBD and Delta 8 is created equal, right? Don't go down to a gas station because Dave Walden says, hey, CBD and Delta 8 is great, because not all this stuff's created equal and you never know what's in it. Find you a reputable company. I know 2 companies that we have. I prefer, Hometown Heroes is one company, and then Delta De Vega is our current vendor. They are a proud sponsor of the VFW, and they have plenty of stuff from roll-ons to gummies and everything in between.
Right.
So one of the misnomers, and you talked about it a little earlier, with CBD is everybody thinks this stuff's going to get me high, and it's not. One of the things to make it legal is it has to contain less than 0.03% THC.
Right.
Which means you would have to basically eat 5 of these bottles, complete bottles, before, you could get any kind of the effect like that. Now, with that being said, will the trace amount show up in your urine? Yeah, they could. But at the same time, it's legal. It's legal to buy. It's legal to own in 48 of the 50 states. The 2 that it's not legal in is because the marijuana lobby has fought them hard. But I was asked in Texas by the legislator when we were up there talking to them. They're like, well, what about expanding TCUP? What about expanding the Texas Compassionate Use Program? Mm-hmm. And for me, full-fledged marijuana, again, it leaves me in a haze, right? And it leaves me in that fog. So why take a Vicodin when a Tylenol will do, right? Why take something so powerful as full strength when this does the trick for me and it works every time?
Right.
So.
Okay, so that was one misconception that I've had, because a lot of people say that by doing CBD or doing the medical marijuana, is, especially if you're 100%, they always drug test you, right, for that at the VA. So at least it's been in my experience that I've always gotten.
Okay, so let's break the misconception here.
Okay, please.
So if you are going to pain management, and you are getting prescription, what they call level 1 or level 2 narcotics, then yes, they will drug test you, and yes, they can complain about marijuana. Most doctors are not going to. Most doctors in Texas, especially if you show them, hey, it's this, they're going to be okay. Now, with that being said, if this stuff starts working and it works for you, then you don't have to go to pain management. I don't go see pain management anymore, so it's not even a problem for me. Wow. So I go see my other VA doctors just like normal, and they all know that I take it, and I don't, because I'm not in pain management anymore. I don't get drug tested.
Well, that's good to know, because again, there's a lot of people actually feel that it's they can't get drug tested all the time. So that's more.
Sure, I mean it's one of the same misnomers, kind of like I got diagnosed with PTSD, so I can't carry a pew-pew. Well, we all know that to be, be false as well.
So how long, when you first started going through these hearings, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't just one, right? It had to be more than one for them to actually even hear what you were saying, right? Because they heard you or they listened, but they probably didn't hear you, right?
So as far as the CBD stuff, when you talk about the hearings and the court hearings, we started all the way here with the local courts here in Travis County, and it got all the way up to the circuit court.
Oh man!
And so yeah, and I believed in this so much. The VFW signed on to testify, but I believed in it so much that my name's actually on the lawsuit as a plaintiff. So, I actually signed on to the lawsuit against the state of Texas because I believe in it that much. Now, let me say this too, Caesar, is that when I say CBD works for me, it doesn't necessarily work for everybody.
Correct.
What I'm a big proponent of is what we like to call any alternative to opioids. I've got friends out there that they've come off of antidepressants and anti-anxieties from service dogs, and some from horses, and some from, the MDMA therapies and various therapies. So I'm not saying that my solution is the only solution.
Right.
But we just want the freedom as veterans to be able to pick and choose instead of the VA shoving pills down our throat.
Yeah, and I'm a big advocate of that, because I mean, I had my own issue with one of the doctors that just wanted to give me a certain thing, and I was like, look, it's messing up my stomach. I can't do that. And you have to be your biggest advocate.
Absolutely.
Right? Because if you're not your own advocate, you're not going to get anything done. And I'm sorry, the VA is as great as it can be, or as worse as it can be. Everybody has their own horror story about the VA. They're not going to give you something unless you are adamant that you're just like, this is not working for me. You've given this to me in the past. I'm sorry. I need something else that's going to work for me. You said
Sure.
everybody's body is different. Everybody's chemistry is made up different. So, what makes you better may not work for somebody else, right? And that was the other thing that the past commander Lynn Toomer, when he came on, he has an issue, and his thing went all the way up to to almost to the Supreme Court, I think, with his pain management that he had. So the VFW, and a lot of people don't know this, and correct me if I'm wrong, the VFW was the one that actually had the historically started the VA, correct?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Historically, the VFW started the VA.
Oh, correct. Yes, we helped fund the legislation to start the VA. Absolutely.
So it's one of those things that, like I mentioned earlier in the segment, that the VFW is not just for VFW members; it's for all veterans, and we, the VFW, are trying to partner up with all those other organizations. Correct?
Oh, absolutely. And so, yeah, to your point, everything the VFW does is not just for VFW veterans. So you're talking about things like the PACT Act. You go back to things like the Forever GI Bill.
Right.
That we got passed. I could sit here and rattle off legislation till I'm blue in the face that the VFW has been a part of. And, it is for every veteran. It's stuff that we as veterans use every single day.
Right.
And, I will say this, and of course I am very big in the VFW, but just because I'm big in the VFW doesn't mean that the VFW is the only right organization.
Correct.
Okay. I love the American Legion. I'm a life member of the American Legion, the DAV, IAVA, and the VFW. It just so happens that my passion is the VFW, and I think it's the greatest, in my opinion, veteran service organization in the world. No offense.
It is the oldest.
We are the oldest, and so we do our part. But yes, so one of the things we did in Leander at Post 10427, which I'm going to throw it out there, is I believe one of the best VFWs in the whole United States. But one of the things that we did is we got tired of veterans coming in our doors that weren't eligible for the VFW and not having a place to go. Like, a veteran wants to come in, they want to belong somewhere.
Right.
And so, hey, you can join the auxiliary, you can do this. And that's great and that's wonderful. So we said, all right, how do we solve this problem? So what we did is we said, all right, let's get together with a bunch of the guys over here in the American Legion, and we formed an American Legion right there at our post. And so when these veterans come in, they're actually able to now have either a VFW or an American Legion if they're not eligible. And we share the same benefit. The VFW owns the place and makes most of the money off of it.
Right.
But those Legion members are treated just as equal as we are and everybody else. And so, you have to have that place where we belong. Now, in saying all that too, and I talk about the VSOs being great, you see a lot of our generation that don't want anything to do with the VFW or what I call the big three, right? The VFW, the DAV, or the American Legion. It's an old boys club. Well, it's not anymore. It used to be.
Right.
And so, for any of the young guys out there, that want to go out there and, I'm going to start my own, nonprofit or whatever. That's all well and good. But I'd rather go to Congress with a million voices behind me when we go to Congress, right?
And that's the biggest thing, right?
It is. It is. It's that legislative power that we hold when we go to Congress. And I'm not dogging any of these other organizations, but for anybody out there that thinks the VFW is an old smoky bar where guys are sitting around drinking beer, sure, they still do that. But most of our posts, especially in Texas, a lot of us have gone non-smoking. One of the big things we've done at our post, and I know a lot of other posts have, we're family friendly. Our old bar manager, Tommy, her daughter used to run our VFW. And when a 5-year-old runs around and tells all the veterans to get out on the back porch and say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, well, all the veterans get up off their butts and go do it. So, you know, so the power of children, right? And veterans of our age, you know, we want a place to belong, but we also want a place where our families can belong and our children can belong. And so, you know, that's what the VFW is going back to.
Yeah, that's good. So, Dave, I'm going to stop you right there. We're going to take a quick break.
Sure.
We're going to come back, and then we're going to continue with this because I want to see if some people will actually call in. And again, the phone lines are open, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. You guys are listening to the Battle Rhythm Podcast on Military Broadcast Radio and Patriot Radio. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
It's the guts and it's the glory, 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes, hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on these front lines. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome back to the Battle of the Rhythm podcast. That was Coffee. Dude, that is one of my favorite songs and actually has taken over for Lee Greenwood. I'm proud to be an American. This one has taken over for me because that's such a great song. And the dude's such a humble dude. And he actually gives a lot back to the veteran community. So I like that guy so much. So, yeah, that's my take. But you were listening to the Battle of the Rhythm podcast. I want to send a couple of shout outs to a couple of people out here. I got my buddy Ray Lara, Master Sergeant. He just got promoted. This little guy, I mean little because he's shorter than me, and I'll never admit this. I hated him with a passion when I first met him. I'm just kidding. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's like he should have stayed. I was like, no, I was ready to get out, and I am glad I'm out. I've been out now for 4 years. I can't do it anymore. So, yeah. So thanks for listening, Ray. So Ray, appreciate it, buddy. And one of these days, you're supposed to be coming out and visiting me here pretty soon. So I'm waiting for that date for you to come. So let's go. All right. So we're talking to Dave Walton. He is the senior vice commander for the Department of Texas. And we have been talking about his journey in regards to CBD and pain management that he has gone through with the VA. So he shared with us that his pain management was pretty bad after 3 different back surgeries that he sustained while in service. And so he's been able to actually manage his pain through the use of CBD, and actually was able to even get some of this legislature passed, and actually make it known for everybody else, especially in the state of Texas. So that's good. So I'm glad you're able to do that. Before the break, we were talking about how your post actually became a post also from the American Legion. You guys are sharing kind of duties in the same way, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
How many actually that you have in your post are actually dual members of that? That are actually that are both active in the VFW, you're also active in the American Legion, because
active in both. There's probably 5 or 10 crossover members in both. There's probably 30 to 40 crossover.
Are you guys a small post?
No, so our post, our VFW post is about 400 and some odd members strong. Our Legion's a little bit smaller than that, or a lot smaller than that. Our Legion's probably about 50 strong, most of them being VFW members. But yeah, so the bleed over, like I said, most people either kind of, hey, I'm focusing on leadership in the VFW, or hey, I'm focusing on leadership in the Legion. Now, with that being said, we talk about 5 kind of being active for everything, but if one does a fundraiser, everybody else is out there, for it as well. So
right,
having
that camaraderie between different organizations is always good. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes down to doing the big things like the 4th of July or the Veterans Day or Memorial Day. That's always good to actually have that intermingling between the organizations, because that's what it's about. Where it's not just about one organization being out trying to outshine the other. It's not about that. That's what people don't understand. A lot of people actually heart.
Absolutely. I mean, we all have our different purposes. If you read the congressional charters of every organization, they're all slightly different, and we have different things that we specifically fight for. But yeah, no, one of the things I would really love to start seeing are what I love to call vet centers, where you have, and of course I know one organization would have to own it, but you see so many posts out here, so many either VFW posts where American Legions meet, or American Legion posts that VFWs meet at, and we really should start looking into stuff like having a vet center where you can have every organization there represented. Again, though, like to your point, I do want to strongly point out that just because we're a VFW, we are there for every member. And our sign up there says we can help with your VA claims, and that's for every veteran. That's right. Not just for VFW members.
So I had Eddie Terry not too long ago. He was a candidate for this last year for the junior vice commander. For those of you that don't know, he was here. He was talking about we talked about the sharks, the claim sharks. So what that means is that there are a lot of a lot of organizations that claim to help the veteran at a cost to do their claim, right? And that cost is usually about 30 to 40% of what the veteran is entitled to, or the amount that they get back if they do end up getting 100% and whatnot. They take 40% of that cut. That's something that the VFW is trying to fight at the moment, right?
Absolutely. So a couple things on this is, number one, it is illegal for any organization other than the VS, other than a certified accredited, and those are the two words to keep in mind when we talk about these organizations. The two words that they are not are accredited and certified. Okay, and so when you have an organization out there, unless you're accredited or certified, you cannot even file an initial claim. So that's why a lot of these organizations will say, "Hey, we can help you get your increase." They are not allowed to touch by law your initial claim. And so that should tell you something kind of right there, is the fact that the law prevents them from doing that. Now, secondly, is what we call now the Claim Shark Act, if you will, has been on the books for a long time. Mm-hmm. And a few years ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago, they took the criminal penalties away from this. And you know, I can't speak to the specifics of it. You know, we have a full legislative department, and they know. You know, Pat Murray could sit here and just give you every detail about it all. But you know, basically what we did is the law we're asking to be passed is just reimposing those criminal penalties. We know certain organizations out there want to charge you, like you said, 30 to 40, sometimes 50% of an increase. Now, you know, for a veteran like you or myself who you know, may still be able to work, that may not be a big deal, but you know, you have some of these veterans up there, they're 60, 70, 80 years old. This is one of the main things that they have to live on. And a lot of them are, hey, we'll take half your increase for the first year or whatever the case may be. And, you know, when they're needing this stuff to live on, it just becomes difficult for them to do it. So yes, don't feed the claim sharks out there. Now, with that being said, there are some organizations that are good organizations. It's just like we talked about with CBD, how there's good actors and bad actors, and there's good actors and bad actors everywhere. You know, there's bad actors even within the VFW. We try to find them and weed them out. But, you know, at the same time, you know, there are some of these companies out there that they need to pay their people, and they say, hey, you know, we'll charge you a flat fee of, I don't know, $200-300. Again, I'm no expert on it. Right. And, you know, we'll help you. Now, those organizations may not be that bad, but yeah, there's some organizations out there that are just predatory agencies.
Right. Which is, you know, which is sad because they, you know, we tried so hard not to be taken advantage of, and then people still fall for that trap because they want to get that quick, you know, that quick turnaround.
Sure. I laugh about it because, you know, most of us, especially in the Army, right? I don't know about the Navy and Marine Corps guys, but outside every Army base, you see the sign on the car lot that says, we finance to all soldiers, finance here, pay here, you know, no credit, bad credit, whatever the case may be. And we warn our soldiers, and all soldiers keep passing it down, like, don't do business with these guys, right? They're sharks. And then we get out of the service and we become veterans and we forget about that. And that's what we've done in the instance of claim sharks. It was not okay for us to use those dealers that were those car dealers when we were in the service. Why is it okay for us to use these same type of sharks when we're out of the service?
Yeah. Which is, it's sad, man, because again, you know, a lot of these guys want that quick turnaround for them to actually help them, and they don't want to go through the process. And unfortunately, sometimes the process it's so short that you don't have, so long that you don't want to spend that much time because you're A, you're hurting for money, and B, you just don't want to go through the pain because we know how bad the VA can be. So
sure. Well, and that's what I would really encourage. Matter of fact, I strongly encourage people to use a VSO like the VFW or the Legion or the DAV. You know, we're all accredited service officers, and our service officers know what needs to be done. They know how to get your VA claim if you are indeed, you know, eligible for your VA claim. One of the key ways to tell a claim shark is when they say, "Oh, we can guarantee something."
Right.
You know, it's that should tell you a lot right there.
Yeah, they guarantee they're going to take your money. That's pretty
exactly.
Sure. So because it's, you know, again, it may not be for some of us that actually are able to, are 100% are able to work. it's not a big deal. But those of us that are 100% and not able to work, yeah, that's a big deal. You know, that's a big chunk of it. You know, depending on how big of your increase you get. So, you know, that's the biggest thing. But I do want to ask you next year. So this year, what is your plan of action? Because I know you just took over for the senior vice. So what is it that you're going to strive for during this year, going into your command year? What are you looking to change, or B, keep, or update in that sense? What is it that you're going to look into for your command?
Sure. So I don't like the word change. Everybody gets scared when you use the word change. So we're going to improve. One of the things that I will say, first of all, shout out to State Commander Robert Martinez, great leader. He'll do a great job this year. But one of the things that he has allowed myself and the quartermaster to start working on is a whole new technology innovation suite for the VFW, Department of Texas. One of the things that this technology suite is going to do for the Department of Texas is it's going to allow us to be more proactive and get true data analytics on what our posts out there are doing, right? So if Caesar has a post that is going, say you're losing 6% every year, you may not realize this. And so, we may not know until it's too late. So we can't help you, right? And so it's one of those things where once we have true data and true analytical data that we can actually go back and look at, we can actually become a more productive tool for all of our posts.
Right.
With that being said, the technology suite is one of the big things that I campaigned on. And the fact that I'm actually getting to do it Robert's year means that it's going to free me up to actually do some more stuff kind of my year. But it's not the thing I want to emphasize is that it's not about my year or anybody else's year. It's about the VFW. And if something's going to work and the good ideas are going to work, every leader should be able to sign on to it. And that's why one of the real reasons I want to give Robert Martinez kudos as well, because he saw this is going to work for the VFW. He signed on, and again, it's not about who's doing what or who gets credit for what. It's about that the VFW is going to actually get this tool. So what does that free us up to do, right? So one of the key things for me is, I'm a motivator and I like to motivate people, right? I'm not going to sit here and make you 1,000 promises as to what I'm going to do. I could do that all day long. And we both know that ain't going to happen because the membership runs the organization, not the commander, right? So my vision is to push the VFW forward and to get us out more in the community and really start focusing on changing the image of the VFW. So one of the things, I'm going to go back to one of my post mentors for a second. Terry Craig, he was the commander previous to me there. And one of the things he did when I first started being commander, and I didn't know what he was doing at the time, right? He was a slick little devil. But he's putting my face in the newspaper. Now, I was a lot thinner and prettier back then and a lot less gray, But he started putting the young guy's face out front. I didn't know what he was doing at the time. And what happens when young guys see young guys, right? They attract. How are you going to get female veterans? Well, we need more female veterans in our ranks. To be more of a diverse organization, we've got to start advertising and showing people and putting those faces forward of those people to where people can start seeing that. And that's one of the things I really want to focus on. I want to focus on bettering the relationship between our posts and our auxiliaries. Our auxiliaries are the backbone and the brains of our organization, I like to say. Especially in my household, I know my wife is the brains of my household. And most of us veterans, we want our families taken care of more than we want ourselves taken care of. And so, but, occasionally we get out there and you have these occasional actors in the VFW that want to sit there and treat their auxiliaries like they're second-class citizens. So, really want to get that and then really want to focus on the legislature that's really going to help veterans, in any way we can in Texas and keep fighting for the veterans' rights, push legislation that means something to us here in Texas.
Right. And one of the biggest things that you mentioned, it's funny that you were the poster child for your post. That's literally what happened to me. My commander's like, you have the gift of gab. You're going to go in and actually start talking to the radio stations and the TV stations. You're going to be our face. I was like, why is it that this soon? He's like, because you just have a natural knack of being able to speak. I don't want to say eloquently, but at least form a sentence together that's not going to have the F-bomb every 3 seconds. You know what I mean?
Right.
That I still have that professionalism to, where I can actually, form a sentence and actually, make it actually make sense. And he's like, is that you also have a personality that it's, that's infectious. That, you start laughing, people start laughing, and you have this. And we're like, oh, so now you're calling me a clown. Great. That's perfect.
Hey, I'll take it. I was one of the guys, Clarence, good friend of mine, brought me, I don't know if you saw, he brought me bubbles to OTS. And so I'm literally walking around blowing bubbles, making people smile, right? That is one of the things you say, what can I bring next year? I'm going to bring some fun next year. You're going to see some things, and it's not going to be a lot of the stuffy business that you've seen kind of in the past. So.
Yeah, again, every commander brings their personality to that.
Sure.
To that, and I've seen, everybody's seen the differences between, years past, and how all commanders, much more, boisterous about certain things, and another one's just like he's a calm leader where he doesn't really do, not that he's not outspoken or anything like that. He's just a very soft tone in the way he carries himself and in the ways he wants to carry on his mission. Nothing wrong with that, because everybody's leadership style is different. Right. So, but it's always fun to actually have a commander that you feel that you're that connection with, because they're having fun. They're passionate about the work that they're doing. And so, yeah, it's infectious, because then it makes you really want to be a part of an organization that is actually there for the membership. And like you said, the membership is what drives this organization, not just the commander. So that's good. But we are going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to do some rapid fire questions. We are about an hour in. We still have another hour to go. And we're going to do some rapid fire questions, the things that you probably have never thought of. And it's going to be one of those like shoot off the hip, and you're going to tell me that first thing that comes up to your mind. So we are going to take a break. You're listening to the Military Broadcast Radio on the Battle Rhythm Podcast on Military Broadcast Radio and on Patriot Radio, which is our new thing. So we're going to come back. So stay tuned, and we are good to go.
In my eyes, indisposed, in disguises no one knows, hides the face, lies a snake, and the sun in my disgrace, boiling heat, summer stench, neath the black sky looks dead. Call my name through the cream, and I'll hear you scream again. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you come? Stood a rain, cold and damp, still the warm wind, tired friend. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you go? Won't you come? Black hole sun, black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun, black hole sun, won't you
Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome back to the Battle Rhythm Podcast on Military Broadcast Radio and Patriot Radio, our new sister station. So we are going to be coming to you live every week on that area. So now, like I said, I've changed the time of the broadcast. So now my time is going to be Tuesdays at between 8 Central and 10 Central. So 9 to 11 on the Eastern side. So I have Dave Walden here joining me today for the I don't know, I want to say the inaugural day that we came in on Tuesday. So it's cool. And I think his mic is muted, so you might want to mute from your side there, sir. There you go. We're good to go now. So welcome back, Dave. I knew you had to go and do your business as far as go get some nicotine in. That's why I put in a long song.
You know me too well.
I figured I was like, you're getting too fidgety on me. I was like, no, you got to do it. You got to do it. So
all good.
We're good. But we like I was mentioning, we were talking about earlier. We were talking about the CBD and how it's helped you and how legislative and everything. So and what your vision is going to be for the next year. We are in a good time to actually be part of the VFW because like I said, I think the VFW leads the way. Hey, we're getting a phone call. 1 second, let me go ahead and answer this call because I don't know who it is. Welcome to the Military Broadcast Radio. You are live on the air. Who am I speaking to? Oh, so you want to brag about that? Do you have broken service there, sir? Well, you carry that chip all the time. So for you guys don't know, this is Master Sergeant Lara, who actually I knew and I met as a Staff Sergeant Lara. Back we were part of the California National Guard, the 144. out of Burbank. He was out of Burbank. I was out of West Los Angeles, and he and I became very good friends. I actually didn't even know that we lived about 10 minutes away from one another back when I lived in California. So that was a big surprise. And so we played. Well, we played indoor soccer together. We played. I think we played hooky from going to drill too a couple times. So, but there was a reason you called. I know you were talking about. You sent me a text. You were watching the broadcast. So you said you had a couple of issues that you had with. Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, so Dave was just telling me that he's not able to actually hear the phone call that's coming through. I can hear it. I'm not sure if anybody else on the broadcast can actually hear it. But Dave, I'll just give you a synopsis of what he asked. He was saying that usually a lot of times that there are VSOs that are actually helping out in regards to from the county VSOs and also from other organizations that usually takes them about 30, anywhere from 30 days to even longer to actually get an appointment for them actually to get to. Is there anything that you can think of that will help in regards to actually getting an appointment a lot sooner, or
No.
other organizations that actually will help out in order for that?
No.
Unfortunately, no. Did you hear that?
So I mean that's the short answer. So the deal is this: is that what happens is the timeline is kind of the timeline. Now, there is a new.
Ray, hang on. He's trying to tell me something. I know you can't hear him, so give me 1 second so I can actually get that because I'm having issues with the audio right now. So go ahead, Dave.
Oh, sure. Sorry. So basically, there is a new system that's been around for a couple of years now, and I forget what it's called, but it's basically the rapid system, where you can get the presumptive claims done a lot sooner. However, a lot of these organizations, they say, "Oh, we can get this done faster. We can get this done faster." Right. And what they actually do is they tell you, "Don't go see your VA docs. Go see all these other docs that we have for you." And they do all this other stuff. But as far as getting the VA time frame, it is what it is, and that's in your area. As far as the service officers, I know here in Texas, we've got some great service officers for our counties that work for the TVC as well. And unfortunately, that is just the amount of veterans that are moving to the state of Texas. And, I don't know where it is in the area he's from, but in a lot of the areas like that where it's just overcrowded, it is that long to get those appointments.
Right. Okay. So, Ray, so what he's saying is that unfortunately that there is nothing you can do, but there is a rapid website that you can actually get into that. Hopefully that'll help out in that process. The one thing actually to do, there are VSOs within each within each of the posts that are willing to help. And you can definitely do that. And then once, if those VSOs from the post cannot do it, then there are VSOs in the district, and then there's VSOs in the state level that will be able to help. Now, depends for the Department of Texas, there are 2 VSOs for the entire state. So as you can imagine, they're very busy. So that's the downside. But there are VSOs in the post that were actually are very knowledgeable, have gone through that whole thing. So that's always good. But
and if you're in Texas, every county also has a registered, certified, and accredited service officer.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what's going to happen. So, Ray, do me a favor. I'll go ahead and hang up, call back, and we're going to answer because we're having some technical audio difficulties right now. So we're going to call back and then ask the question directly to Dave. He can give you a much better answer than I can in regards to that, because he's been through the process. He knows the process a lot better, probably being because he's been a district commander and also a district coordinator, inspector, and so he knows the ins and outs of all that stuff. So he'll give you a better answer on that. So go ahead and hang up and call right back, and then my producer is going to go ahead and call and answer. Hopefully that'll be able to go through. So all right, thanks, man. So, all right, so he's going to do that, Dave, and I don't know why we're having issues with it. So that's really annoying, and sometimes it happens. This is what happens with technology. Sometimes
it is right. Hey, if technology worked the way it was supposed to, I wouldn't have a day job. So
I thought you were already retired, man.
No, not yet. So I have the job I love and the job that pays the bills, and unfortunately, they're not the same. So yeah.
Hey, that's H. That's our station manager. Say hi, Dave. Hi, H. Yeah, he's not managing his views real well right now. So we'll get to see his lovely face, and he's a man. He looks like Thanos on there. He's very passionate about this, and this guy's actually a Paralympic member.
Nice.
So he actually, I don't remember what year he actually went to, but he's a Paralympic, so it's cool. So Dave, so this year, when we come back this year, right? You said that the commander, Robert Martinez, is actually really into the things that you've actually proposed to him in regards to moving forward and improving the VFW, the state, the state level, right? What can we expect in order for us to actually have a, I want to say, improvements in that sense? So what is he looking to improve?
Well, again, it all kind of starts with, one of the main things there is the technology aspect.
Right.
But one of the other things that we're really, really focused on this year is trying to bring the unity back in the VFW. And you know how it is. Sometimes you get a lot of personality issues within the VFW. And so, so we're looking to squash a lot of this. And again, you're talking about a commander and Commander Martinez that, is not in this for his own personal gain. He's in this for, the right reasons and everything. And so with that being said, he's bringing a lot to the table. He is also partnering. So one of his big things, and it's also the National Senior Vice Commander in Chief's prerogative, is the ability to contribute to what's called the One Tribe Foundation. So we're also partnering with them, and I'm blinking all over the place. I want to get a seizure over here. No, it's all good. But yeah, so Robert is a lot like I am in the fact that and then training is also very important. One of the things you want me to give you a little spoiler. I'm gonna give you a little spoiler here. So one of the things that will be coming out in 25-26 for Team Texas will be what we call Texas VFW University. That name's not trademarked yet or anything like that. But we're going to basically take our OTS and we're going to call it now just basically training. Because we think every VFW member should have training. And when you say OTS, a lot of people won't come because they think it's just for officers. The other thing is we want to be able to take this and put all this training to where you can have it at your fingertips 24/7. We were going to try to do that this year. Unfortunately, it wasn't anything that we were trying to save for a specific year or anything like that. But as you know, with technology, sometimes they take time.
Yeah, as you can see.
So a little sneak peek, a little spoiler about some changes coming to training. Next year, we've got the best training team in the VFW in the state of Texas, and so we're going to utilize them and really expand their reach.
Yeah, that's good to know that they're going to take that too seriously. And as a technical trainer myself, I can tell you that training is the most important thing to do with anybody. Obviously, we train as we fight, we do what we can. So that's one of the things that I do. Like, I'm developing lesson plans, and anywhere from lesson plans all the way to the content and all the way to the delivery. So it's I know exactly how that whole training is and how important it is for everybody to do that.
Yeah, and one of the first classes that I'm having them start working on this awesome training team that we have is what I call VFW 101, right? It's the stuff, hey, I'm a brand new member. I just got voted in. I come in, I sit down in my chair. Can I vote at a meeting? Like, what in the world is going on, and try to maybe, have a trifold so you can hand that to somebody saying, hey, you can vote right now, or, hey, here's basically some of the stuff you should know as a beginner, and even stuff like that. We do take a lot of pride and a lot of time training our officers and our leaders in our organization. But I feel that one of the things we're kind of lacking, and this is just my personal opinion, is that we're lacking the stuff for the actual individual members.
Right. So the individual contributors. Yeah, because we have everything about, from the post commander, from the junior vice commander to the post commander, and then up, but nothing else underneath them. Maybe I think we had the trustees this year that we actually were able to train and everything. But there's also not. You're right. Like if somebody that just comes in and that doesn't really know what to expect, that would be a very good training development to actually have as a 101 to give them the basic ideas of where the organization is supposed, the vision is, and what we're supposed to be going and what we want to do. Because that's very important for them to understand why we do the things that we do and how we handle the things that we handle, and what is the right course of action to actually go through, because they need to know if there is a disagreement within the post membership itself. What are what can they do and how can they do it? If somebody does something outside of the organization, how can and if there are members of the same post and to do something outside of the organization, what is the best course of action in order for them to actually be reprimanded or whatever.
Well, and it's not even about that though. It's also about the things like, a lot of people, why should I join the VFW? What's the VFW ever done, right? And I mean, you can go back and look at almost one. I'm not going to say almost one a year, but dang near close to one a year. Things that nationally that we've gotten done as a VFW. I'll give you a little piece of trivia I'm not sure if you're aware of or not. Do you know that the VFW is the reason that the Star Spangled Banner is our national anthem?
I heard that on OTS, and I don't remember the full story, but that actually gives me a good segue to do this. So we're going to go ahead and get into our segment called
Rapid Fire Questions of the Week, sponsored by James Oreskog, giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
You caught me off guard, dude. You really did. My mother hit me once.
Right.
That's what it was. But I want to ask you. So that's actually a very good point. So thank you for bringing that up, and the fact that I did not know that the VFW is actually the reason why. So tell us the history behind and the reason why what happened and how that went, because I don't know the history of it.
You're talking about
the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to read it to you just off Wikipedia. It's a lot. It is a lot more in depth than it really is here. But I just want to make sure I get this I want to make sure I get this just right here. Bear with me just a second, because it's supposed to be rapid fire, and here I am stalling already.
Yeah,
right?
We're peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly is all you gone 3 times. So
right, exactly. So, so basically, the if I remember correctly, and again, don't quote me on this, but the VFW went around and got a whole bunch of people to sign basically a petition to try to make the national anthem or the Star Spangled Banner our national anthem. And so I'm going to Google here. Hang on, VFW national anthem. So, because again, I don't want to screw it up. Let's see. Yeah, so here we go. Congress had to legislate the national anthem. So Commander-in-Chief Frank Stroyer, back in the day, pursued his goal of securing an overwhelming number of petition signatures to bombard Congress, which is what we do. We're one of the biggest veteran lobbies in the United States. So our post and our auxiliaries pitched in, and let's see, it said we reported 4 million signatures in hand back in 1929. And so, the VFW went and got 4 million signatures in 1929 to make the Star Spangled Banner our national anthem.
That's so crazy. That is so crazy. To think that, the VFW was actually one of the biggest ones that actually go ahead through all that stuff. It's remarkable, So that's always good. But let's get back into our rapid fire questions. So I'm just asking these questions, and I just want you to answer the way that the first thing that comes to mind. So don't take it anything personally. Just a way of us to actually get to know you.
You're good,
and see what you're good. So all right, your favorite military movie?
We Were Soldiers. There isn't a better one in my mind.
I agree to disagree. Gunny Highway, even though it's kind of fake, but it's still hilarious to me.
Now, We Were Soldiers' favorite movie, favorite miniseries, Band of Brothers.
All right, that's actually a pretty good one. I stopped watching it. I think after the last episode, so I watched all of it. All right, what was your favorite subject in school?
Oh, God, PE, recess.
Not being in school.
Right, not being in school, So, I'm from Alabama, where I can barely add anyway. So, no. If I'm being honest, civics and social studies.
Okay.
And especially U.S. history. I'm a big U.S. history and space nerd.
Oh, big U.S. history. Okay, all right. So if we do the 100 questions for the U.S. citizenship test, you think you could pass these?
I could probably do a lot better than some people. I don't know if I can get all 100 of them.
All right. All right. What was the who developed the Great New Deal?
Say that one more time. You talking about the New Deal?
The Great New Deal.
The Great New Deal. I don't know. I know FDR was the New Deal. The Great New
actually, it was the Great New Deal. FDR was the Great New Deal.
Okay.
Yeah. Who actually? What was the name of the organization that preceded the United Nations?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Sure is.
I don't know that I know that one. I'm going to take a stab at it and say the League of Nations.
It is the League of Nations. Very good. Wow, I'm impressed because a lot of people don't actually know that. It's weird that it's rare to actually find history buffs. So,
yeah. I'm a history buff. I'm also kind of a random knowledge buff. I love Jeopardy and stuff like that. So
okay, I got one for you. What was the first video? What was the first video to ever be played on MTV?
Say again.
What was the first video to ever be played on MTV?
Video Killed the Radio Star.
What was the name of the band?
Oh my God! I was about to say it, and then you asked, and I forgot it.
That's where everybody goes wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one because
it was the Buggles.
The Buggles.
The Buggles. What was the first rap song to be played on MTV?
Oh, I have no idea.
That
Rap
was,
is not one of my genres, unfortunately.
well, actually, it wasn't even by a rap group. It was Rapture by Blondie.
Huh.
So, even though people want to say no, that wasn't the real first, I was like, look, even though that wasn't real rap, that was still the very first rap video, or the that had the genre of rap in it that was played.
Interesting.
So yeah, yep, it was crazy, right? So, but do you keep up with a lot of the current events and everything that's been going on this last week?
Some. Now this last weekend, we did OTS, and I've been getting ready for national, but we'll give it a shot. I've been keeping up with some of it.
Well, we've just been talking right after OTS. We went back to the Post, and they were saying, "Oh my God, President Trump, or the former President Trump got shot," and we're like, "What the heck just happened? We just left OTS, and this is what happened." Anyway, this is not my political show. I'm just saying that it was like the biggest thing that I took away from that is the fact that there has been a lot of misinformation that's been sent out, and there's a lot of conspiracies that have come out of that, and I just want to not acknowledge, but I just want to make sure that everybody gets the right thing before you even post anything on Facebook, or before you even do it. Like, do your research. Don't just blurt something out because of your political ties or because of what you believe one way or another. Do your research. Be very again, be educated about what you're going to say, because we may see one thing, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know the full truth. We know some of the facts.
Absolutely.
But don't make assumptions, and then you're gonna get yourself I hate the word canceled, but you're gonna get yourself in trouble in certain things like that. It's not worth it. All I'm saying is just do your research and form your own opinions. I had a conversation with somebody the other day that I shared with them that I was actually told that because of the color of my skin and because I am a minority, I had to vote a certain way. I had to vote Democrat because that's what Hispanics are supposed to do. I said, I don't think that's the way that works. There's a reason why I'm an educated person and why I am able to actually read in the free will and what I can actually read and align myself with the beliefs of either this candidate or this candidate. Which one is going to be much more to my advantage and what is going to be representing what my beliefs are. You are not to tell me just because I am a certain color of my skin, I'm supposed to vote one way. And that was the biggest thing. And they're like, well, you're doing your people wrong. I was like, my people is the American public, the American citizens that we fought for. Being a veteran, yeah, I have become a little bit more conservative in the fact that I feel that we need to be putting putting veterans first. Like Lynn Toomer had one of the greatest slogans, make the VFW great again, it's right, in meaning that he's trying to align himself with actually putting our country, putting our veterans first before anything else, because there's no reason why we should be spending $800 billion in places that we don't need to. We're not even taking care of our veterans with mental health issues or even prescription drugs, diabetes drugs and all that stuff. And we can spend the money here. There are things we can do.
Let me jump on that, because we're also, we are big proponents of helping veterans.
Right.
But let me say this to any veteran that's watching: we can't help you if you're not willing to help yourselves. And I hear so many veterans out there, oh, I'm too young, I don't need to be on VA disability, or I don't need to go, I didn't get that injured, or I didn't do this, or I don't deserve this or that. Bull crap, I call myself. Hey, you know what? There are a lot of people out there that get benefits for whatever the case may be.
Right.
You signed up to go fight for your country, regardless of if you deployed or not. And this goes for every veteran out there. Go get your VA benefits. If for no other reason than you may be my age and you may not need it right now, but when you're on your deathbed, I've seen so many people out there who have not filed their VA stuff, and then when they're in that hospital and they're hospitalized in their final days, their wife and kids are going through hell fighting the VA because the veteran was too stupid or too egotistical to go out there and get to fight for themselves.
Right.
So to anybody out there that's sitting here listening going, oh, I don't deserve benefits or I don't need this disability. No, you may not need it today, but you will tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things too, and is you have to look at every state and what you do in every state. Like for example, the state of California, if you are a 0% rated by the VA, any of your children can actually go to a community college, even a state level college, for free. You don't pay anything. So both of my kids that are in California are able to take advantage of that right now. So I'm putting one through college right now, and he actually is about to take advantage of that, the 0%, because I have that through the state. And then once he gets to a California, Cal State, or either Cal State or a UC, University of California, he'll be able to actually go in and pay a much less tuition than most people would, because
It's similar to our Hazelwood Act here in Texas. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's one thing that is the reason why you should get rated, and it's not just for you, because it does have benefits for everybody else. Now, if you get more than 30%, guess what? If you want to apply for a job within the federal government, 30% will actually get you preferential points, much more than the next guy that only has 10. Even if he has 10, you only get 10 points. But if you have 30% and over, you could be a direct hire at 15% preferential points that you can actually get for the federal government. So you can actually get a job there too. So again, you can always be a government baby from all the way from the military all the way to when you retire. So think about that. It's not just about you; it's about everybody else that comes behind you as well in your family.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the things that's probably one of the things that we need to actually bring up in the OTS. Make sure that all these guys actually understand that it's important to actually have that percentage but the rating, so we can actually get benefits for their families, because that is important, especially in education. Right now, education is out of control as far as how much we're paying for.
It's educational, but it's also the benefit of my wife. God forbid, but if something happened to me tomorrow, my wife would be able to collect a stipend and would be able to keep my 0% property tax on our home. So my wife would, it'd be impossible for them to tax her out of our home. And so, like I said, if you don't do your VA benefits for you, do them for your family.
Yep.
Our families put up with a lot while we served. Let's at least try to take care of them once we're out.
What was that saying, that the hardest job in the army was the military spouse?
Absolutely. I
believe
that 100%. When we're over there, we're mission focused, and you don't have a lot of time to sit there and miss home. Now you do. We know we do from time to time.
Yeah.
But those spouses, they sit there and they listen to these pictures and they take care of the kids, or they look at these pictures and they take care of these kids, and they do all the family work and all the hard emotional work. And so, as far as emotionally draining, there is no harder job than that of a military.
Yeah,
team.
Exactly. So it's good. It's good to actually, like I said, having that rating. It just does wonders for you. You know what I mean? Because again, it's not just about you; it's about everybody else in your family and everything. So we're good. But let's get back to our rapid fire questions.
Sure.
I want to ask, what is the one thing that you have regretted so far?
As far as like in life,
career wise or personal, things that you wish you had to redo.
So I'm one of these guys that I don't believe in regrets, right? And so everything happens for a reason, even divorce leads to new opportunities with new spouses. And so, I can't say that I truly have any regrets. Even, getting injured, would I go back over to Iraq and do it again? Absolutely. And I think most veterans out there would. As close as I could come to regret is I did have a pretty lucrative job offer when I was in the Army to go to DC and do some cool stuff that a junior enlisted would have loved to do. I'm not going to expand upon that too much on the air, but I turned it down because at the time my ex-wife and I decided we didn't want to raise the kids in DC. Again, everything happens for a reason, but if I had to say I had one kind of, thing I might go back and change, that might be it.
All right. What's one of the biggest takeaways that you've gotten from being in the military?
One of the biggest what?
Takeaways?
One of the biggest takeaways that I've gotten from the military is, first of all, I got my education. And I told all my kids when they went in, use this as a tool.
Yeah.
Use the military as a tool to set you up for the future in your life, right? So my dad told me two things when I joined the military. Number one is get your education while you're in and get the hell out of this small town and don't ever come back here to live because there's nothing here for you. And, I took that advice very well. And
you like Michael Jordan? I took that personal.
What's that?
You like Michael Jordan? It's like I took that personal.
Yes. No, exactly. And so, I used it for what it allowed me to gain from that. The other thing that I will say is that I had my first experience with what I call mentors. And mentors are a very, very important part of my life. I still talk to some of my original mentors in the Army, every chance I get. Matter of fact, one of the guys I'm really hoping to link up with lives about an hour from Louisville. And so I haven't seen him since 03. 03 was my initial deployment. We got back in 04. I PCS'd out of there in 05. So I haven't seen him since 05.
Oh, wow.
We chat on Facebook, but face to face, I'd really love to get to see him again.
I think it's different when you actually see somebody, right?
Absolutely.
Especially it's been like 20 plus years and in a different environment, you're like, oh my God, what happened? Minion Dave,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So that's good. All right. So what is one thing that you want to change personally or professionally?
Personally, I'd like to lose a lot of weight. One thing I will say, in working a full-time job and then doing the VFW, and a lot of people don't realize this, our VFW officers don't get paid, right? Our quartermasters, our office staff, they get paid, but a lot of our commanders, they don't get paid. So I have to work a full-time job and then I do this, and I'm not complaining at all, but what that does do is allows me to eat a lot of fast food. And so, one of the things I really love to do is start get back on my diet and lose some weight there. So,
yeah. So, okay. Well, that's all the questions I got, but I'm actually really looking forward to spending some time over in Louisville this coming week. I get there on Saturday. So, I think my flight gets there at like 10:15 or so. And then by the time I check in, probably by the time we register and all that stuff, we'll do it. But I will do the podcast from there on Tuesday. So if you want to come by and hang out for a little bit, we can. Like I said, the past commander Lynn Toomer is going to be in there, and I think the junior vice candidate from Alabama, Scott. I can't remember his last name.
Scott Gedling.
Yep, he'll be there. I met him at the OTS. Great guy, and a funny story, dude. He actually was from Alabama. When I was in Syria in 2021, I was there for a year. I started with the 82nd Airborne, and the commander for the 82nd Airborne, the HHB unit. Sorry, not the unit, but the company. I'm very good friends with. Well, the replacing unit that came in was an Alabama unit, and I have really, really good friends with them. Well, anyway, their XO worked for Scott. And I took a picture with Scott. I sent it to Colonel, because he's a light colonel now. William Hurd, amazing voice, by the way. He's a great guitar player. Maybe I'll have him on the show one of these days. But he's amazing player. And I was like, "Hey, sir," I was like, "Do you know this guy?" He's all, "You just can't get away from Alabama people." I was like, "No, sir, I cannot."
Now, one of the people you should try to look for when you're at national convention and talk to her about coming on your podcast would be, the national junior vice commander, No, wait. We haven't had national convention.
That's right, junior.
She is still the junior vice.
Well, I am counting on you to do that, there, senior vice, because she was with you when we were at the convention.
Absolutely.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll call you. Yeah. Okay, yes, ma'am.
For those that do not know, Carol Whitmore is the national junior vice commander for the VFW, and in a little over a year from now, she will be the first female commander in chief of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and she is a very, very smart woman.
Yeah, I got to meet her, and she's like, let me get more settled, and right now we're going crazy. She's like, I will get on your podcast. I was like, okay, I'll believe it when I see it, man. So this is where you come in, sir.
We'll
to make sure you come in. So, but Dave, thank you so much for making the time to come with us on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Been. Hey man, anytime you want to, you're a friend of the show. Anytime you want to come out and and give us an update, or give us something that is going on within legislative or anything with the VFW or anything else, you just give me a call and we'll put you on. But thank you so much for making the time to come on the show, giving us the insights on the CBD and also on the process for the claims that's important for everybody else. So thank you so much. And I will see you this weekend.
Yes, sir. We'll see you this weekend. Have a great
All right, Dave. Thank you so much for coming in. And we're going to take a break. You're listening to the Battle Rhythm podcast on Military Broadcast Radio and on Patriot Radio. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
Seen her out in LA playing with the band. In Carolina, dancing on the sand. She's a star that's slipping through my hands, like the ones that fell on Alabama. She's red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. She's my kind of girl, 'cause she's red, white, and blue. She'll get you high as the Colorado skies, and she shines like those New York City lights. As tough as Texas, and brother, she just might knock you to the ground if you start a fight. She's red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. She's my kind of girl, 'cause she's red, white, and blue. She'll wait there in the harbor, holding up her light. She'll bring a fallen soldier home underneath her stripes. 'cause she's red, white, and blue. She's red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. She's my kind of girl, 'cause she's red, white, and blue. She's red, white, and
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome back to the Battle Rhythm Podcast. Man, I don't even know what to say anymore right now because I'm looking at the screen and you guys can't see him, but Big Grizz is not feeling good right now. So I'm hoping you're feeling good, dude. I hope that nothing's wrong, nothing's bad. You're muted.
I don't know. Hopefully it's just a 24-hour bug or something.
Man, dude. I've been drinking a lot of I've been hydrating.
But I drink probably a gallon to 2 gallons of water a day.
Oh my god. Well, at least your intestines is gonna be pretty clean.
Yeah, no, I know your watchers. I'm not very enthusiastic right now. I really do. Since about 9 o'clock this morning, it hit me out of nowhere, and I just have not felt good.
No, I get it. I actually, dude, believe it or not, this morning my wife was actually awake at like 2:30 in the morning, and my alarm went off at 2:30 in the morning because I needed to get some work done before I go on PTO next week because I'm going to be in Louisville, and I wanted to get up early. So she was up at 2:30, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to get up now and go to work. And so I ended up going to work I got to work at 4:45, and I was actually able to get a lot of stuff done. And yeah, so it was industrious, and it was an industrious day. But I am beat. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am tired, and I still have to pack for next week because I'll be gone Saturday through like Thursday. So.
No, I understand that. I think a lot of it is I was up so late last night doing that special live event. I mean, that went 5 hours. And I think the staring at the screen the whole time and trying to entertain the 20, 30 people we had in there, I think it was just a lot. It mentally wore me down, and I just, my stomach's feeling it today.
Well, you know what that means? This is what it means.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot of the Week, sponsored by James Oreskog, giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Well, yes, I agree with that.
What's French toast, dude?
Exactly.
What the French toast? But you're fine.
But other than the phone issues, which I don't know what's going on with that, how was your show?
I think it went well. I mean, I was able to elaborately and eloquently put in words, and I refrained from actually using any bad words. So no FCC will coming back after us. So
that's always good. That's always good.
Yeah, I really am trying to actually be more mindful of that, and it's because I definitely want to keep keep it clean, so we're able to actually come. So when we get that practice, and if I do end up getting picked up by other stations, I have that discipline. I'm actually not doing that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I feel the same way.
So that's one thing. But dude, I am excited to announce, and we actually have announced it earlier, that MBR, the radio station, has actually been picked up by Roku TV. Starting August 1st, we will be streaming live from Roku TV. So make sure if you have Roku TV, or you can actually download the app on I believe Apple Pay, or Apple Store and the Google Play Store, and download the Roku TV app, and you'll be able to search for our channel. So we'll be able to you'll be able to watch all of your favorite shows from MBR, and also Patriot Radio, which is actually, we just teamed up with them as well. So good news for us all. The station is growing, and it's all thanks to the viewers.
Yep, moving forward.
Yep. And yeah, this is the least enthusiastic that I've seen you, and
I'm
I don't
sorry.
like it.
It's not. I don't like it. I'm just super blah.
What is it? I'm pooped. I
don't even know if I would say I'm pooped. I mean, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep, but man, I don't know what it is. I'm hoping it's just a 24-hour bug. Like, I don't have a fever or nothing, but everything else, flu symptoms besides throwing up, I have. Like,
so you can't keep anything down?
No.
Oh my
God. I'm not throwing it up.
Oh. Well, maybe become bulimic for a few minutes and do that. It'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, it helped a lot of people out. Come on, do it. Everybody else is doing it.
No. I like food too much.
So what did you have today? I had some tacos. What about yesterday? Tacos too. So, we went to Freddy's right before we came, and actually that was a pretty good burger. I'm not gonna lie. I like the fries.
What's a Freddy's?
You've never been to Freddy's?
No, I live in Washington, dude. I don't.
Freddy's is all over the country.
Like Fred Meyer, the store?
Oh, Freddy's.
That is definitely not in Washington.
Oh, okay. Well, they actually do a pretty good like smash burger. So they put it all down, and it's pretty good. Their steak fries sauce is their fry sauce so good because they have a spicy one. It's not spicy. It's just spicy tomato or ketchup or whatever, but it's good.
I like the sriracha ketchup when you can find it. Wow. But I can't eat the spicy stuff, man. The spicy stuff gets me going. It's bad for me now. Used to be able to eat it like no tomorrow. Not no more.
Yeah, well, that's the sign of getting older, dude.
Hey, you're my age.
First of all, you don't have to be rude about it, sir.
Yes, we're getting old.
At least I'm the one still with black hair and most of my hair in my hair.
Hey, I have bleach white hair.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure.
It's just all gone.
Yeah. Okay.
I got hair like the Targaryens on House of Dragons, that white hair, That's what it is. That's what I'm gonna tell myself.
Yeah. What do you have it at? It's in a ponytail, dude. You don't see it?
Yeah, exactly. It's just so white you can't see it. I'm whipping it around for you.
So Dave Walden, the senior vice commander for the Department of Texas, he's still watching the show, and it's funny. He just texted me because I have my text app open on my Mac. And he said, "You're making fun of us great haired folk." I was like, "No, dude. Look, I got hair. I got hair here. I'm just saying that Grizz has no hair up here. I still have most of my hair up here. It's not even like gray. It's still black.
Hey, the older you get, gravity takes over.
Well, dude,
went from up here to down here. That's all. It just rerouted.
Yeah, it relocated.
Yeah, like GPS in the car.
It relocated because it knew I can't lift my head anymore to actually, because back in Nam I couldn't do this anymore because my rotator cuff. So I have to do it now. I can just do it here. I don't have to go up here.
Did you see this one?
So you two are like Bob. Who, dude? I did not see that. Oh, you're just jealous, H.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay. First of all, who's Bob and Tom? Oh, he's talking about two bears in a cave.
I'm not 100% sure who Bob and Tom is. But I thought it was funny.
I think he is talking about Two Bears in the Cave. Actually, that's a pretty damn funny show.
Is it?
Is that what you're talking about, Joel? Like two bears in the cave? Yeah. See, this is what he's talking about. Yeah, apparently it is. Apparently it is. So whatever. But yeah, you have to actually watch. You have to watch Two Bears in the Cave. They have a pretty funny podcast, and they were actually on that roast of Tom Brady.
Oh, really?
And dude, some of the ones Nikki Glaser, she killed it. It was perfectly timed. It was she got on everybody, dude. It was so good. The one that I don't even know why she was there. It was Kim Kardashian. I was like, wow, okay, that's really weird. What's up with your dog, dude? Like, are you killing it or something?
No, the neighbor, she can see through the windows, and the neighbor's probably out working on his porch or something, and she's barking at him.
Oh,
she's a turd.
Well, runs in the family,
right?
First we're hairless, now we're turds. I mean, it's a hairless turd.
Oh no. Well, I mean, that's gross.
And what kind of dog is it? It's a cholo.
So
a Mexican hairless dog.
We found out what kind of dog she was. She's a Papillion and a wiener dog mixed, which is called a Papachon. And they're an actually very rare dog. That mixture of those two breeds is very rare. But I was reading stuff on her, and everything they said these dogs is her. She has the butterfly ears.
I thought you would say the butterfly tattoo. I was like, oh, she got a tramp stamp, huh? No, that's her daddy who does.
I do not, but I can say I got a portrait on my shoulder blades, and I got the shoulder cross that goes from my shoulder blades to my belt line, but it ain't no tramp stamp.
Oh, you follow the happy trail, huh?
I call it, that is the weirdest tattoo I've ever had in my life. Because there's muscles in your body that twitch from doing that you didn't even know were there.
Well, guess what? You found out. It was. So.
That was weird when they're tattooing on your spine. I mean, yeah, it is so hard not to move because just stuff is twitching, and you're like, "There's muscles. Why is this happening?" And then he'll go to another spot on it, then all of a sudden another part of your body's twitching. I was like, "This is so weird."
It is. Well, hey, man, I hope you feel better. This is pretty much it for the end of the show. Remember, we'll be back next week. We will be live from the VFW National Convention in Louisville, Kentucky. I will have several guests that day, so I will take all of my press access stuff so they can actually let me do a podcast while I'm there. So it would be cool. But
so you do remote live.
I will remote live, exactly. So hopefully
awesome.
I won't forget to bring my microphone back this time.
Yeah, because that's not a short drive to go get it.
No, it's not. So I'll have to pay. But hey, thanks for joining the show. We'll see you guys later this season with the Battle Rhythm podcast on Military Broadcast Radio and Patriot Radio, our sister station. We will see you guys next week from Louisville, Kentucky.
That's the show for today, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. And remember, you can listen to us again and again. The podcast of this radio show is available right after we go off the air tonight, anywhere that you can get your podcast episodes. And thanks for joining us today. I'd like to take a moment to talk about something close